Hey 7th graders, so today we are going to be doing subtracting integers. You might have done this in class already with me, or this just might be something you're pulling up on YouTube just to help you refresh those skills, or you might have missed today. So just depends who's here, who's watching it, but let's just get started. So remember, subtracting integers is still that 7.ns.1 standard. So just subtracting and adding integers and then turning that into rational numbers as well. All right, so first review. So on your handout, if you have these notes or if you're looking at them, these four are just review questions for to practice your adding skills that we have already done. So you can go ahead and look at those and do them. All right, so there's those four answers. So hopefully you were able to work them out and then look at them and you did good. All right, so moving on. All right, so to subtract integers, so to subtract an integer, you add its opposite. All right, so to subtract an integer, you add the opposite. We know what opposites are, right? Opposite of daytime would be nighttime. Opposite of inside would be outside. So opposite of positives, numbers become negative. So then a negative number becomes positive. Okay, so that's just important to remember. So when we subtract, we add its opposite, okay? And that's going to get more useful and more important as we say it. So that is with words. So now let's look at it in an aspect of numbers. So if we're given the equation 3 minus 4, remember I said we're going to add the opposite. So this subtraction now becomes positive, and then we need the opposite of 4. So the first thing we need to determine is that 4 positive or negative. Well, it is positive because this subtraction is not attached. So the opposite of positive 4 would be negative 4. So your new equation is 3 plus negative 4. Hopefully that's something that looks familiar. You know your signs are not alike, so you subtract. So you would do 4 minus 3, which is 1. And then you take the sign of the bigger absolute value. So it'd be negative 1 in this case. Okay? So that is how you do it with numbers. And then, you know, we love pictures. We love that visual example. So we're still looking at the 3 minus 4. And that 3 is really hard to see, I'm sorry. So we always start at 0. To get to the 3, we move right 3. So there would be the plus 3. And then we are taking 4 away. So to take 4 away, we go to the left. And we want to take 4 away. So 3, 4. And our answer would be negative 1. Now we can also see it this way with the adding the opposite. So we go to the 3 still. So there's our plus 3, our positive 3. But now we're wanting to add a negative 4, and we know negatives are to the left. So we want to add a negative 4 on top of that, and our answer is still negative 1. So we get negative 1 both ways. Okay? All right, moving on. Remember, you are watching this online, so you can pause at any moment. Let's look at example number 1. So find negative 2 minus 4. So remember, we add the opposite, so we don't touch the first number. Subtraction becomes addition. And then we need to decide, is that 4 positive or negative? In this case, it is positive, so we want the opposite, which is negative 4. Remember, this subtraction is not attached to that 4. So we go to the 0. We want to go to the negative 2. So negatives are to my left. So left 2 times is that negative 2. But now we want to add a negative 4 on top of it. So we want to start at that negative 2 and keep adding a negative 4. So plus a negative 4. So our answer is negative 6. Okay? Hopefully this is refreshing your memory if you've already learned this. Or if you're learning it for the first time, hopefully it's making sense. Let's look at example number 2. We have negative 3 minus negative 7. So remember, we don't touch the first number. We change subtraction to addition. And then we want the opposite of negative 7. So do you see how this one has parentheses? That tells us that that negative 7 is attached, okay? That negative is with that 7, okay? So what's the opposite of negative 7? A positive 7. So we're just going to plus 7. And now we're ready to graph it on the number line. So we start at the 0 to find negative 3. We go to the left 3 times. But now this time we're wanting to add 7, and it's adding a positive 7. So we start here and go to the right 7 times. Let's just do it with the numbers without a number line. All right, so we have 3 minus 12. Remember, we do not touch the first number, so it stays 3. We always turn subtraction into addition. And we want the opposite of 12. We gotta know, is that 12 positive or negative? It is positive, so we want it to become negative. All right, our signs are different, so we subtract. So 12 minus 3 would be 9. And then we have to determine, is that 9 positive or negative? In this case, it is negative because 12 had our bigger absolute value. Okay? All right, moving on. All right, so we don't touch this first number. This stays -8. We turn subtraction into addition. This negative 13 is inside of parentheses, so it is negative. So we're adding a positive 13 because we add the opposite. Signs are different, so we're going to subtract. So 13 minus 8 would give us 5. And we need to determine, should it be positive or negative? So look at our 13 and our -8. Which one has the greater absolute value? And that's the sign we keep. In this case, that 13 has a bigger distance from 0, so our answer is positive. Last example, one more with me, and then you can do 3 on your own at home. We have -3. We don't touch it. We want to change subtraction to addition. And then the opposite of +3 would be -3. Our signs are the same, so we can just add. So 3 plus 3 gives us 6, and we want to keep the sign. So we keep that negative sign, okay? I say okay a lot, I'm sorry. Hopefully you're feeling good with this, and I will let you try these 3 on your own. These 3 on your own, so go ahead and try them, and then the answers will be up. All right, so there's the answers. Hopefully you were able to do those, you feel good with them. So same thing goes, if you're watching this and you need any help or you're struggling still, shoot me an email, call me, and I'll be happy to help. Good luck.